A Green Spark. Chapter 10. About a week has passed since being under Ava's spell. The others think we're recovering well, but Carl's been having nightmares almost nightly about it. I don't blame him, though. At least it seems to help him when I calm him down. I saw the way he hugged Emma. A soft but comforting grip around her. I found out that if I do the same, he calms down well. Speaking of Emma, since that day she seemed to go downhill. Other than the traumatized mindset she started with, which I don't blame her for. I'm sure getting killed wasn't fun at all. She's just been a bit more on edge, a bit more jumpy. I wasn't very comfortable being around her, but it wasn't too bad. I sit on Carl's bed with my arms around him, a comfortable baggy striped sweatshirt on, and my chin gently on his shoulder. He had stopped crying much quicker than usual today, and we were just sitting there relaxing as he watched some birds out the window. "You don't have to comfort me," he mumbles, looking over his shoulder. I just shrug and rest my chin a bit better. Meh, I don't mind it. I enjoyed being the one to comfort him. I felt a knot in my throat as I looked up at him as he looked back out the window. I'd caught myself staring at his eyes again, catching myself admiring him again. I sighed and sat upright, brushing it off once again. Well, we probably only have about half an hour before we're going to be late today. Yeah, he mumbled, stretching his arms out in front of him. Thank you, Clinton. Yeah, no problem, Shrimp. I let him get up and then got up myself. I'm gonna go get ready first. Do you mind? I say, heading towards the door as he pulls out some clothes. Yeah, I don't mind. I'll get ready in here, so just knock when you need to come in. All right. With that, I head off into the bathroom and close the door behind me, chuckling to myself as I finally stopped holding back the redness to my cheeks. It was really hard just to act like I was normal around him. He was so cute and caring and kind. I splashed some water on my face before looking at myself in the mirror. My face was red. Hell, my ears were too. I brushed my hair and continued getting ready before heading back into the room. I gently knock on the door, pausing as I hear his footsteps. Oh, great timing. Blue or red today? I watch as he opens the door, holding 2 different shirts in his hands. I say, clearing my throat and stepping past him into our room. I say red. It goes well with your eyes, and hair for that matter. I keep my eyes out the window to avoid looking at him shirtless. Okay, he says, quickly putting the red one on. I worry that I wear red too much, he mumbles, looking down at his shirt. Nah, you look good. I turn around, smiling at him. I pick up his backpack and sling mine over my shoulder before doing the same with his. Ready for breakfast? Yeah, I'm thinking cereal today. Sounds great, I say, heading out the door before him. I glanced at Lyra's room, knowing I needed to talk to her, but even though the past week, thinking about it as much as I could, I still couldn't find the words to explain to her what I needed to. I grabbed my meds from the cupboard above the fridge and gulped them down with a glass of water before starting breakfast. Why are you doing so much for me this morning? Carl said, laughing softly as I set a bowl in front of him. I flinched and looked down at it a little confused myself. Who knows, I say, brushing it off. Eat up, we're running out of time. I wish Emma could fly us to school, he mutters before taking his first bite. I roll my eyes and shiver thinking of it. I assume you'd much rather stick to walking? Oh yeah, I say, chuckling, happy that he understood so much. We sat there eating breakfast in comfortable silence for a few minutes before Carl's mom came down, smiling at us. You boys are going to be late soon, she said, turning towards the closet to get ready. That's what I'm saying, I say, laughing softly as I pick up my bowl. But don't worry, we'll get there on time. All right. She puts on her coat, starting to get ready for work. I'll see you boys after school. Lyra, I say quickly, flinching at my words as I spin around, putting the bowl in the sink. Can I talk to you after school? Of course, kiddo. You took your meds today? I roll my eyes and nod. I haven't missed a day since, I promise, I say, reassuring her and then walking over to Carl as he relaxes at the table. Want me to get that for you? I say, holding my hand out for his bowl. Oh, sure, thank you, he says, smiling up at me, a warm smile that I just love so very much. I take his bowl, shaking off my thoughts and rinsing it out. All right, boys, see you after school, Lyra said, walking out the door. See ya, both Carl and I say in unison. She's right, though, Carl said, standing up and grabbing his backpack. We probably are going to be late if we take any longer. Yeah, ready to go? I say, picking up mine. He nodded and headed towards the back door. It was a little quicker to go through the alleyways than around the block. I watched the clouds above us as we walked. We were going pretty slow, but it was fine. If we were a few minutes late, no one would bat an eye.
So, how do you think Star's club is going so far?
Carl said, smiling up at me. Well, I'm sure she's only got a couple votes off, I say, smiling down at him, happy for how excited he was for the club. Ever since he heard that Star would be teaching about a bit of magic and demons, he was interested in helping her out. I mean, so was I, but that was less important.
Do you think we could tell people she has healing abilities? I'm sure that'd get her a lot of votes.
I don't think that's what she'd want. She doesn't seem like the kind of person to leverage her abilities to get what she wanted, even if it's for good reasons. Carl sighs and nods.
Yeah, maybe we could just show people? What if I just ask her to heal a paper cut in front of a few people?
I chuckle and shake my head. Well, I'm not gonna stop you. He just smiles up at me again, that same cute smile. Listen, I'm just happy you're trying to spread good rumors. It's better than what I did. He sighed and continued walking with me in calm silence the rest of the way to the school. During class, I couldn't stop thinking about how to talk to Lyra, even Evelyn. I guess it wouldn't hurt to talk to Carl as well, but what if he figures it out before I'm ready? I sigh and rest my head on my arms as I write. Maybe I could write a script before I talk to them instead of writing the assignment. It was just short stories today anyway, due tomorrow. I could hide it all pretty quickly, but then I would be behind again. I groan and flinch once Emma taps my shoulder. I forgot she started sitting beside me in this class. What's up? She said, looking down at my page. Trouble thinking of something again? No, not this time. I sigh, wondering if I could bounce the idea off her. But what if I'm wrong and make a fool of myself? I straighten my back and look at her, taking a deep breath in. Emma, I'm confused. I feel heat come to my face as I lose my words. She tilts her head gently. About what? She seemed so calm as she talked. Oh God, what do I even say? Myself? Maybe. Myself. She gently rests her arms on the side of her desk. I think I like guys. She smiled and looked at me with such acceptance, almost giggling over how worried I was. But I'm not sure yet. I sigh, feeling defeated with my own emotions. Bi-curious? She said, nudging my arm with her pencil to grab my attention again. What's that? She sighed and shook her head. When you're not sure yet what label to put on it, but you're willing to try, both? She giggles, her face turning red with an awkward smile. I know a little bit about the community, so I can help you figure out what label to put on it whenever you're ready. How do you know so much? She just shrugs and gets back to her work with a smile. Thanks, I say, smiling softly. At least I know where to start now. I look down at my paper. Maybe I could kill two birds with one stone here and make up a story about a kid coming out using the words I could use. I glanced up at the teacher and groaned, putting my head on my desk. That was a stupid idea. After school, I waited by my locker for Carl. I'm not sure where he was, but I doubted he left so early.
Yeah, I just feel bad about putting her on the spot.
I heard Carl's laughter through the halls. I felt warm and calming. I pushed myself off my locker, waiting for him as he talked to other students. And there was no side effects? I rolled my eyes, piecing together what they were talking about. I didn't realize he was going to start up those rumors immediately.
None at all. They even healed us from a really bad fight a bit ago.
Another fight? The other kid spoke with distaste.
Yeah, one of Emma's old friends came back with ill intentions, to say the least.
He shakes his head and smiles at me, running towards me.
Hey!
Hello, Shrimp, I say, smiling and hugging him as he wraps his arms around me.
But anyway, she's starting a club, and I think it's for the better if we get more people involved. Imagine all the help she could do to others if people started accepting her kind of magic.
Both of the kids' eyes light up with a smile. I've got an idea, one of them said to the other. Quick, we have to go tell the friend group. Carl smiled proudly as I ran off, waving goodbye to him. I can't even call you a troublemaker, I say, snickering and grabbing his backpack gently from him. I started walking toward the door, and he followed quickly.
That wasn't the first group either.
I sighed, a proud sigh, but a sigh nonetheless. I'm proud of you, Carl. He looks at me with a soft smile and leans against me as we walk.
I just want to repay them the best I can. If that means helping them achieve their small goals here, helping them form a club, then I've got it pretty easy.
I laugh as he does, smiling as we exit the doors. He pauses briefly as we walk to our block, looking at me a little confused as I unknowingly was mumbling to myself.
Clinton?
Evelyn should look at him.
Are you okay?
Yeah, why?
You're mumbling to yourself. Is it about whatever you need to talk to Mom? Is it serious?
I wave my hand and laugh softly. Yeah, it's about that, but don't worry, everything's good.
Do I get to know what it's about? He said.
No, not this time, Shrimp. I say softly, sighing gently as I try and stop myself from turning red.
Aw, man.
I snicker as we walk in through the gate. I glance at Lyra through the glass sliding doors and sigh. Why don't you burn off some of that energy with our trampoline? I'll join you afterwards.
Okay,
he said, quickly skipping off and crawling onto the trampoline.
Think I can land a backflip this time?
I sigh as I walk towards the door. I think so, just be careful, please, I say, opening the door. Hey, I said, closing it behind me and getting his mom's attention. Evelyn pokes her head through the doorway of the living room, sitting down as well.
Oh, welcome home. You wanted to talk, right?
Lyra said, glancing over at Evelyn. I nodded gently and sat down at the table. I assumed it was okay for your mom to come too? I nod again. What's up? Should I be worried? Evelyn joked, smiling at me. I gave a nervous smile back that quickly faded. There was a pause, a tense silence. Clinton? She sounded worried as she looked at me. Please don't be worried. I promise it's nothing bad. I chuckle and rest my head in my hands, placing my elbows gently on the table and entangling my hands with my hair. I just don't know where to start. Anywhere, sweetheart, Evelyn says softly, glancing at Lyra. I paused again, my face red as every thought flowed through my head. I'm, bi-curious, I say, confused, trying to remember exactly what Emma said. And I feel my throat get tight. Oh God, what if she doesn't approve? What if she hates me for it? And I think I like someone. A boy. I feel my hands get sweaty. She just smiled at me so calmly. Oh, honey, why are you so nervous about this? You know I accepted Carl when he came out to me as gay. I'm not straight myself, Lyra said as she laughed softly. Oh man, you should have seen her gushing over that non-binary kid she fell in love with at your age. Evelyn laughs as Lyra glares at her. Either way, she mumbles, turning away from the violent glare she still had. You're always going to be welcome here. I gulped down a pain in my throat, too nervous to confess the rest. Yeah, thank you, Mom, I mumbled, looking past her and Lyra at Carl, who was still jumping on the trampoline. I saw Lyra follow my gaze and then back at me, smiling softly and shaking her head with a sigh. I wasn't paying attention until she stood up. Go ahead and play. I've still got paperwork to fill out. I look up at her, smiling. At least a little weight was lifted off my shoulders. And I'll get dinner started, Evelyn says, smiling at me and patting my head. All right. Thank you guys, again, I say softly, walking off.